Well, John Alanamu takes us back to February of 2009 when the Kenyan Parliament voted against the establishment of a proposed tribunal which would have been made up ideally of Kenyan and international judges to address the post-election violence. In November of 2009, Parliament began debate on another constitutional amendment to form a local tribunal, but to date that debate has not concluded. Jojo Muya, I pose a question to you. If the ICC cases fail, as John Alanamu has said, what would happen to those victims? Is it too late to start another process to set up a local tribunal?
First of all, I think we need to note that when it comes to criminal prosecutions, there is no time barrier within which to bring prosecutions, as long as there is evidence. And therefore, there is always some hope. Even after the Second World War, 50 years after the Second World War, you had people being prosecuted for the war crimes that were committed at that time.
But Muya, I do have to ask, we hear that justice delayed is justice denied. Could this be the case for the victims?
Justice is always done sooner than later, particularly because of, evidence tends to disappear or deteriorate. And I agree with you that the victims have waited for almost 8 years for justice. And of course, given the kind of living conditions we've seen in Uganda, we've seen among other displaced people, those who are raped, many infected with HIV, that completely changes. When your loved one has been killed, especially a breadwinner, that completely changes your life. And justice needs to be done sooner than later. But in the event that justice doesn't come from one area, for instance, there has been a recommendation to establish an international criminal division in the High Court to prosecute other perpetrators, because there were many perpetrators, not just 3.
Do you think that will be enough? Because to date, how many people have been prosecuted for the post-election violence locally?
Yes, I again say that unfortunately, there has not been much political will in Kenya to prosecute individuals for post-election violence. The Director of Public Prosecutions himself has said more than once that he doesn't have evidence to prosecute, despite the fact that the Constitution gives him the power to direct the police to investigate further and bring the evidence. So unfortunately, we are in a situation where there has not been justice for victims. And that is why it is critical that that the authorities, whether it's here at home or the ICC itself, do their best according to the law to ensure that there is justice for victims of post-election violence.
Well, thank you very much, John Muya. He is a Vice Chairperson of International Commission of Jurists. Thank you for making time to be with us on KTN News Desk.
Thank you.